worry, Forest friends. My analyzer mode will help me make you a super safe Suka shelter.
Oh my god, even the music, come on!
Don't worry.
Okay, we're about to do something completely different here, because usually with these AniMat watches, I would go and watch what are some of the worst when it comes to either movies or animation. That I would put up an absolutely terrible film and that I would record myself so that you would watch me be completely baffled by the awfulness of what I would go and experience. In this case, however, it is not going to be that. In fact, what I'm going to be watching is a little bit different, like I said at the beginning, than the typical bad movies that I would go and watch. And what I will be experiencing here is something called God's Gang. And to give you a little bit of a context of what God's Gang is, it is an animated web series with a group of superheroes that represent different religions. Like you got one who is a Christian, one who is Jewish, one who is a Hindu, and one who is a Muslim. And together, not only do they go and fight crime, but also in each of the episodes, from what I've heard, there would be this message of peace and a message of unity, basically to go and take all these different religions and see the comparisons to them in terms of the message that they want to go and deliver to people in an awesome crime fighting way, which what they want to do with this series. And chances are maybe you have heard of this, because I know that I am not the first person to go and talk about God's Gang on the internet, considering that there have been other social media influencers who would talk about God's Gang, and sometimes they would go and mention that it is an offensive cartoon, that some people have accused God's Gang of going more into the stereotypical route with some of their characters. But before we go and officially do so, I do want to go and be transparent with you all as to why I am doing this. And it's honestly because I was actually asked by the people behind God's Gang to go and actually make a video like this, to go and make a video about God's Gang where I would go and watch it, and that I would go and share my thoughts, to tell you all about what I think about it. And on top of that, they even told me to go and watch some specific episodes, because they would all connect with each other to create this little mini series per se. So that's honestly the reason why I'm about to go and do what you are about to see. But do keep in mind though that just because they went and asked me to go and check out their animated project, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be all positive about it. I'm not going to hold back in terms of delivering any criticisms I may have when watching it. So just to let you know right there. All right, so with that said and done, I already got it all prepared right over here. And let me just go and set myself up. Okay, so what we are about to go and witness, by the way, are actually some of the more recent episodes, or as recent as of this video. And we're going to be watching episodes 5 through 8, which were all released in early 2025. And the first episode that we do have here, it's, well, it is interesting, considering it is called Wildfire Chaos and the Rise of a Mystery Hero. So yes, it is worth mentioning right now that this episode is in response to the California wildfires that did happen in the beginning of 2025. So it'll be interesting to see how they are going to go and handle this. So I got the episode right over here, so let's go ahead and begin by checking out God's Gang in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Here are our heroes.
I'm feeling the healing.
Yeah, all this grounding keeps my heart pounding.
Oh, wow. So you guys just discovered going barefoot? Welcome to the club.
Okay, I think immediately I do see a tiny bit of what they mean that they might be offensive, but it's not like anything like too overwhelming right now. It's just like you can see the tidbits of like what might be like, I don't know, I smell some stereotypes here, you know?
Get us out of here. Here you go, buddy. Oh, Simone.
Do they really make the Christian guy like part Michael Jackson? Is MJ the part of the inspiration of Crisscross over here?
Oh no. Who's that?
Don't worry, Forest friends. My Laser mode will help me make you a super safe Suka shelter.
Oh my god, even the music, come on!
Don't worry, we'll save you.
Is that the music you gotta play when Ninju goes into his Fortnite mode? I mean, like, come on, man. Come on.
A river like one Hindu. Let's do a face-to-face.
Face to face?
Listen up, my little ones. To a tale they will tell one day. How the forest creatures and their friends sent a fire far away.
It's working. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That is actually cool. I actually do like that. Honestly, like that face-to-face thing. Okay, that is awesome. And I think like that actually works well to see like the combo of like different religions working together. I hope I do see more of this here. Like that was actually pretty cool. I'll give it credit.
This gang hasn't seen the last of us.
You're not going to do the laugh again, are you?
Just immediately. Just like, no, I will. Screw you. Okay, so that is the first episode that we see on this little batch here. Not bad, I gotta say. Even the way that they handle the whole situation with the wildfires, it is pretty nice. You know, it's a nice little first impression. Nothing that's like too amazing, but you know what? Like what they are doing, not bad, I gotta say. I'm intrigued to see what else is going on. And speaking of what else, we might as well go on to the next episode we got here, in which it is called Fearful to Fearless. Kung Fuda unlocks God's Gang's destiny. Kung Fuda? Oh boy. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and begin the 6th episode, or the next episode, right now.
Can you make it across on one foot? Come on, Ninju. It's literally child's play.
I mean, you said 1 foot, but you did a lot more than 1 foot. I'm just saying.
Use my left. That's good. I can use my right for balance.
Taekwondo Hindu, don't be deluded by everything you read.
Right. I mean, left. Straight? Right.
So I guess this trust your gut feeling. That's what I'm getting, like, what the message is, or what Kung Fuda is trying to teach them, I believe.
This is just like a flying cross. I guess I'm the weak link here. You guys, you go on without me.
Don't sweat it. You just need another chance to master your leap of faith. Now follow me, Forest Guardians. We've got a lot to cover. They
Are we gonna help him out, or? Oh, okay.
Know them by their real
Maybe they have another plan with it, but we'll see.
And their plan is simple. Flood the planet with fear. The corpo creeps start the fires. The animals get scared. Then the corporation picks up all their fear vibrations.
Not gonna lie, that animation was actually not that bad.
Terror tubes.
Like, there are those few moments in this, like, the animation is not great here, but there are those few moments where the artists are able to go and show off, like, some of what they can do. And I do see with not in Taekwondo Hindu, with Kung Fuda that,
That's not.
okay, well, like, I can see stuff that, like, all right, they got some moves to show off.
Back up. And also, word has it that the forest is too scary for me to deal with. Dogma out.
Oh no, it's already happening. The fear vibrations are already overwhelming the forest.
We've got to go in there and destroy that fear bomb before it goes off.
You just read my mind.
I have a tendency to do that.
All right, gang. You heard the lady. We got a forest to save.
Chris, what did you see out there?
I'm gonna need you guys too.
Okay, I think I know what's going on. Like, yeah, present. Oh wait, hold on.
I have a forest to
We're
save,
almost out of time.
and there's only one way to go: down, where a terrifying new danger awaits.
This is the most scared I've been since the great tahini shortage of 2012.
God's gang is about to get explosive.
Fear bomb!
Yeah, I got a feeling that maybe Crisscross is gonna be like foreshadowed as like the hero with like the way they're showing that he's a bit scared, but like I'm thinking a little bit too ahead. Okay, so now God's gang got a bit of training from Kung Fuda. Now they're gonna be ready to fight the big enemy, or at least with what's gonna be happening. So I guess we can now go and immediately jump onto the next episode here, which is called God's Gang Enters the Fear Zone, Nightmare Mode Activated. So now we're going to see them really fight against the big baddies here, or at least enter into their territory. So let's see how they're going to go and match up against the fear.
Hey guys, I think I got it. Thought I had it.
Use your legs. Maybe your arms?
Does nobody... Okay. Like, have they not reached, like, have they not have their powers to go and jump high? Has that not been established before? I mean... There, I mean...
One suddenly feeling
Scared? The terror fuse.
Did you just say oy vey?
When they were drunk.
Come on, buddy. I'm just saying. Like, come on. Dude.
What are you doing to those innocent fungi, corporal creeps? Ah!
60 seconds to detonation.
Oh, dang, already? Oh, wait, we're not gonna do it.
Strikes.
Wait, now?
60 seconds to detonation.
God's gang strikes back. But it's going to take everything they've got to defeat the fear within.
God's gang, smash!
Bye-bye, fear. The gang's all here.
Well, hold on a sec. I mean, like, now they only got 1 minute to go and, like, stop the bomb. I don't know, is the next episode going to be short, or is there going to be more to it? I don't know. But one thing I will say that did get pretty interesting, at least visually, is that the elements with the antagonist, per se, like with all the... like the fear vacuums with the nose, and then you also got the fear bomb. It's interesting to see how the art style, like, it kind of sacrificed the black lines like the characters have, and it kind of reminds me of Samurai Jack in a way, especially like how there is still that element of abstractness to it. It is interesting, you know? It does give it a nice look, I'll give it that. All right, so now that we are at the point we're getting close to the climax, we do have one more episode to check out. Let's see how this all concludes with the final episode of this batch, called the Epic Battle of Light and Darkness. And from the look of the timeline, it seems that it's going to be more than a minute. So let's see how God's Gang is able to go and solve this problem right over here.
You heard her, God's Gang. Smash!
Just keep punching. All right, got it. It does look like a very sensitive thing, I gotta say.
Spirit of fear, get back in my head where you belong.
Ah, there we go. Now we see the resolution.
I conquered my fear.
Chris is right.
Was his fear heights, though? I mean, I feel like that should be something to, like, mention, but I get it. Like, these episodes are very short, but I'm just, you know, it's like, how did that turn out to be a fear? How did that become a fear?
Breathe out.
We're all going to...
Guys, there's literally nothing to fear.
2, 1.
Ah, there you go. That was the longest minute that I've seen.
You did it! You can't use my fungal friends to spread fear.
Kind of seems like we already are.
Because we're going to use them to spread love. Kung Fuda, your holiest chant, please.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna stop. Okay, well, there's the religious aspect. The power of prayer is gonna stop him.
Love disappear when we do this.
Oh, and the power of breathing. Okay, I see. I mean, I've honestly been practicing like that kind of deep breathing, like to calm down, so I actually kind of get how it works.
Previously on... You know what, Chris? Is this really necessary? I mean, they're such short episodes.
Oh, yeah, Miss Dogma. Love
What's
what
going
you're doing.
on?
But I really just need you to say the line here.
All right. I mean, but why, though? People can just watch the previous episode, no?
Miss Dogma, please. You're killing me here. Just
What's going on? What are you doing?
Dogma, you really remind me of my mother.
Okay, now you just made it weird, Ninju. I just can't deal with this.
Wait, Miss
Are we-
Dogma, don't go. Ninju.
You know, it's actually not really necessary. I mean, there's such short episodes. What do you want from her?
Okay, then. Kind of weird to have that, like, right at the end, though. But, okay, so that's pretty much the little mini-series that they have related to wildfires. And apparently a message about facing your fears and stuff like that. Or, in general, that gives us a bit of a taste of God's Gang, or at least this little part here of God's Gang. Now, if I may go and express my thoughts, I might as well go and start off by putting out my criticisms, you know, having that out of the way. Now, I get it that it's not necessarily the best animated series that you will go and find on the internet. Even the animation, it's like, you know, it's not the best. It's not the kind that you would see like amazing, smooth, fluid animation that there's a lot of it that kind of would feel a little bit basic. But I will say, though, that even with the animation like that, there is a little bit of a charm. And I'll say personally that it does remind me a lot of those Canadian animated shows back in the early 2000s. Like, I could honestly see that kind of animation style be on something like Teletoon. But with that said, though, that doesn't necessarily mean the animation is bad. And there are some things about it that are actually quite nice, that are actually quite impressive. Like, there are some times that when they don't rely on line art for their characters and stuff like that, or even in the backgrounds, there is a style to it that kind of reminds me a bit of Samurai Jack, which does work out considering this is a little bit more action oriented. So it does work, and it does emphasize the abstract style pretty nicely. And not to mention that there are some moments with the character animation, especially for some more action-packed moments or with Kung Fu Da, that does look pretty nice. That there are some pretty good artists who are working on God's Gang. So, you know, visually it does do a good job for what it is, and with the, you know, and they know how to go and work with the materials that they have, even though it doesn't necessarily have like a massive budget where they can afford to do like extravagant animation. For what they have, they're able to go and manage to do that well. And as for the offensive aspect, I will say that I do see some elements where, yeah, it could lead in towards that direction, but I won't say like 100%. I feel like with these characters, they're kind of like a step or two away from being like full-on offensive, because you can see some of the characters like Ninju, for example, or Crisscross, that they do lean in a little bit on kind of like that stereotype zone, like not fully like going all out where they would make the stereotypes their personalities, but there are traces of it that do feel like they are kind of going into those tropes, like with Crisscross being black, or kind of like being this black character from the 1970s, or Ninju being this Woody Allen style Jewish character. And, you know, you got like some other examples as well with the other characters that I won't say that they're full on offensive, but there is an aspect to it where like it does lean in dangerously close. But would I say that this is overall an offensive series? Does it make it bad? Not necessarily. You know, like, yeah, there is that aspect where it is very campy. It is a very cheesy series with what they are trying to do, but I could tell that with their intentions and what message that they want to go and deliver with God's Gang, they do mean very well. It is very nice with what they want to go and try to accomplish, especially with the aspect of taking all these religious figures, or taking these different religions, and we see them working together to go and deliver this message of peace. Or in this case, talking about how to go and, you know, what to do in order to help out with wildfires, to go and help out the animals, to go and fight against the evil corporations, as well as a message about facing your fears, what to do in situations when fear takes over you, and you will learn to try to calm yourself down. And yeah, like, as ridiculous as it may seem, where with the power of their individual prayers and then deep breathing helps them to go and fight evil and save the world and stuff like that, trust me, I've been through therapy, and I've been through like these exercises about deep breathing and stuff like that. And I can pretty much tell you that it works. It does help you calm down. It does help you overcome fear. So I actually do like that element where, in a weird way, where yes, I would say deep breathing can actually help out in terms of saving the world. So I do get it. But overall, this is pretty much to go and say that with the way that they would go and deliver the message in terms of peace and helping out the world and stuff like that, it is actually very nice. And it's something that I feel like is pretty admirable with God's Gang. You know, it does stand out compared to the other religious cartoons that it doesn't necessarily spread like some kind of specific narrative or a propaganda, because of the fact that it shows how we see them working together. We see them, how they can go and have all these similarities to one another, where we see them team up, use their individual powers to go and help the situation and to go and save the world. So it's more about spreading an important message than it is about, you know, spreading this propaganda about their individual religion. And that, I feel like, it is a good thing to go and spread. I think that that is actually a nice thing about God's Gang. And by the way, there is actually another thing that I feel like is great about God's Gang, and this is something that I did read up beforehand, and that is the fact that God's Gang, in terms of its production, it actually helps out autistic people. And what I mean is that they collaborate with groups that specialize in helping out autistic people, whether it be Spectrum Laboratory or Autism and Entertainment, where they would go and collaborate with them in order to give autistic people opportunities to go and pursue their dream careers that they want to go and work in, whether it be in acting or filmmaking or in animation. And in here, like, there have been some autistic artists, there have been autistic actors who have worked on God's Gang, and even on these episodes that we have seen here. So that is also another admirable aspect with God's Gang, not necessarily with the series itself, but how they would go and create this, where they give autistic people opportunity to go pursue their dreams. And I think honestly, it's part of a great reason why to go and support God's Gang. You know, the funny thing is that I've had fans asking me if I could go and support more indie animation. And even though, despite the fact that, you know, I have been talking about indie animation in my videos, even doing reviews of indie animated films, I know that some of them are specifically mentioning that I should talk more about the popular indie projects like Hell of a Boss or The Amazing Digital Circus. But if you want to go and support an indie animated project that actually does help out autistic people and spreads out a good message with each episode, then I highly recommend you go and check out God's Gang, or even support them by subscribing to their YouTube channel. I do see they do have a prominent following on YouTube, where they got 1.6 million subscribers as of this video. So great to see that they already have a strong base, and that maybe in the future they could go and grow from there. So I will say, so far, this is easily the best thing that I've seen in these AniMat watches. And even though maybe it's not necessarily like the best thing I've seen in terms of animation, what it does, honestly, it's admirable, it's fun, and it does have its own charm. So if you're not too offended by some of the imagery that they would go and present with some of these characters, and if you're down for some like old style superhero cheesiness, kind of like those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where they would go and like make their own superheroes, or even like when they would do the Super Friends, then I do recommend you go and check out God's Gang, because honestly, I'll just say right now, I'll definitely take God's Gang over anything else that I've seen on AniMat Watches so far.
You know, it's actually not really necessary. I mean, there's such short episodes. Where you want from?